So I recently rewatched the anime Shuffle, which is a harem anime from the early 2000s. I think it's like mid 2000s, somewhere in there, 2005, 2006 it came out. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, I recently rewatched it and it was fascinating because I noticed a lot of things that the first 18 episodes were kind of meh, but it got actually really good around the final 6 episodes. So I think episode 19 and all the way to 24 got very interesting and has some interesting aspects to it. But let's talk about Shuffle. Now, Shuffle would be considered a reverse isekai, mainly because you have characters coming from the worlds of gods and the worlds of demons in that world, and you have these two new girls that are from there that get introduced to this world because like they know the main character, and that's how like they're connected to the main character because they want to marry the main character and all that. And also in this world we've already had like characters that are from them realms because they've been coexisting for years in here, so that's why I say it's technically a reverse isekai. You would join that genre. What this anime really just shines as is a harem anime. Like the reverse aspect is there and they do go to the other world eventually, but it's mainly a harem because the main guy, he already lives with this girl that's been his childhood friend since he was little because one, his parents and her mom, they all died in a car crash when they were younger, so he's been living with this girl ever since, and then that's been his childhood friend. And also we get introduced to another childhood friend, which is from middle school, this girl with green hair, and then we get introduced to the main two girls, which is like this elf girl that has blue hair, and then you have this other girl that has short hair that's like from the realm, I think she's from the realm of gods, and like the elves are from the realm of the demons, whatever. So like they get introduced, and as you go through the first 18 episodes, we get to see both of those two girls trying to holler at the main character while the childhood best friend that he lives with is like always looking like all in the middle of like she's trying to still be happy with the other girls, but at the same time she's slowly but surely getting pissed off and like wanting more attention because she's losing the attention because the main guy is mainly trying to holler at the other girls. And like the main guy, he does holler at a lot of different girls at different times, and like most of the time he's not really focusing on that until like he goes on separate dates with the different girls. So with Shuffle being a harem anime, of course, you know, along the lines what comes with being a harem is fan service. And since Shuffle's from the early 2000s, you know, there's fan service in it, but it's not over the top. It happens sometimes. When it comes to like the main girl with the red hair, there's a point where like she switches to her sister's personality, and just know the fan service is picked up from there, and she be on one at times. And there's also an episode when it's like focused on the teacher for a little bit, and you know, all her thick and goodness is all showing, just saying. She's looking kind of nice, just saying. So yes, there's occasional fan service, but it's not like the craziest fan service. It's not like no High School DxD where, you know, you see stuff any and everywhere. This one just has an occasional one, but the fan service still doesn't play a part in the, you know, the anime because it's a harem anime. And, you know, these early harem anime, they loved adding fan service in it, but it's not no over the top stuff. But still, Shuffle's not that bad of an anime. It has some interesting aspects to it, especially with the way they handle the harem and each girl and each route, I guess you say, of the girls that are there, and we get to see like what all they have to offer, even with one girl turning crazy, one girl being sick towards the end, and then we can see the main character like actually like help her out when she's sick and stuff like that, because the main girl that he chooses, she does at one point, the reason why she's sick is because she doesn't want to use her powers. She's ashamed of like being half like god or whatever she is, or demon, whatever the exact one that she is. She's just scared of being exactly that, and that's why she doesn't want to use her powers. But eventually the main guy, he gets her to use her powers from like, because he basically stabs himself, and then eventually she goes and uses her powers that she can heal him, and that way she can stay alive instead of, you know, getting put in the hospital like she always was though. Yeah, you gonna see that occasional fan service, so just know some stuff might pop up and you might see it though. One of the most interesting aspect of this is the redhead girl. We find out because like one of her little backstories, when her mom was pregnant, she was pregnant with twins, and the redhead girl had a sibling that died like at birth, and like technically she absorbed the personality of the twin that died. So the twin's personality comes out at certain times, and that personality sometimes has like a stronger urgent to holler at the main guy, and she's usually on one, I'll say that. And also when it comes to the elf girl, we find out about her is that she had basically a clone of herself made, and like because she was sick, and eventually the clone sacrificed itself that like the one girl she could live and all that. And then like we also have this one little girl that gets introduced to that's like kind of like artificially made and kind of like AI and all that, and we find out like has some of the highest like magic powers, even higher than the demon lord guy, and even the god guy that's there too. So yeah, we have those little aspects of it, but like I said, the first 18 were kind of, man, it had its moments that it was okay, but like majority of it was kind of boring. But then we get to the final 6, and that's where this anime really shines in my opinion, mainly because they get fascinating, because the one childhood best friend that the guy's been living with, she finally snaps. And I mean, she snaps and turns crazy. she turns into basically a yandere at a certain point, because we find out her backstory of how when she found out that her mother passed away, that she was really going crazy and all that, and like she was literally losing her will to live, and she eventually got sent to the hospital. So the MC, he basically comes up with this lie saying that, oh, he was the reason why they died, because he asked them to come back early because he was missing his parents. But then we find out that basically the reason why his parents and like her mom came back early was because she was sick. Her dad told the MC that like, yo, can you like say something that we won't be able to like have her screw up and mess her up, and like that's where he comes up with the lie, when it was like technically you could say it was her fault, and he tries to tell her it's not her fault and all that. And also while all that's happening, we have something that most harem anime never do, and that is the main guy, he actually gets with a girl and picks a girl and they get in a relationship. And he also tells the other girls that he does not like them, he does not love them, and he's also in love with this other girl. And the other thing is, he actually picks a girl that most of the time you wouldn't consider, because like he picks the green haired girl, and like out of all the girls you would not consider her, mainly because she's the middle school childhood friend. That still counts as a childhood friend. You know, most of the time the childhood friends never get picked, but it was surprising that they actually picked her. But at the same time, there was a lot of things leading up that he was going to pick her. As the anime was going on, they started showing like more and more of those two together, so you could tell that maybe he was going to pick her, but at the same time he would have his moments with all the other girls. So I don't know, it was just one of the things where I was just surprised that a little bit that he actually picked the green haired girl over like the two other girls that are introduced, even like the childhood best friend that he's been living with. But yeah, he also tells all the girls he doesn't love them, and the one that takes the longest for him to tell is like the childhood best friend that he's been living with, because he's like, yeah, he's like, you have to hear this, because she was not trying to hear it, and he tells her you have to hear this, and eventually he moves out the house, gets his own place and all that. So I don't know, I just thought it was really interesting. I just like the aspect of like actually the MC picking an actual girl and getting into a relationship, and then telling the other girls that, yo, I do not like you, I do not love you, I love somebody else. So like that was the one thing I really liked about it. And like them last 6 episodes, if the anime would have just been them last 6 episodes, this anime would be fire, just because them last 6 episodes were actually really good. But the rest of it was kind of meh. And I don't know how people really have this, because I've seen this like ranked pretty high when I'm like, dog, the rest of the anime was boring, but them last 6 were actually good. If I could just rate them last 6 just as a whole, them last 19 to 24 was fire. The rest of that was meh, because I can't lie, I was falling asleep watching the other ones, and like I was bored and doing other stuff on my phone because it was not interesting at all though. But yeah, if you've watched Shuffle, let me know how you feel about it. If you've never watched it, why not watch it? It's not that bad of a harem anime, but I will say them first 18 are kind of like meh, and like if you're not enjoying what you're watching them first 18, you might as well drop it, because you have to watch everything to get to them last 6 that you can just see some of the stuff. But like it's not really that interesting early on, but them last 6 is really where it gets really good in my opinion though. But yeah, if you're new, why not subscribe to your video? Why not like? If you dislike, subscribe, you really enjoyed. But yeah, Shuffle, pretty cool early harem anime. Yes, it does have fan service. And also, shout out to the teacher in this anime. I totally forgot about that. Shout out to the teacher. The teacher is nice and thick. That's all I gotta say. And I mean, she thick. She goes up there as one of them nice anime teachers that they have. Hey, he should have went that route. That's the route he should have went, was that thick ass anime teacher, because I thought he was going to. There's a little snippet like section in there. It seemed like he was about to go that route, but then they didn't do it. But I'm just saying he should have hollered at the teacher. Just saying the teacher was nice though. But yeah, hey, thanks for watching. If you haven't seen Shuffle, go watch it if you want to though. But I'll see you next video though. Bye.